let's look at A&M. Is A&M this national championship darling that we had in the preseason? Haynes King is down. You're now with CALZADA. You know, they struggled to get things going offensively, but yet they still came out with a victory against Colorado in and of the end. It was 10-7. Definitely don't look at the lines of that game. At home, that's cool. You know, what is the identity of this team through 2 weeks with this A&M squad?
Well, look, that's the question, man. I mean, I think you look at what some people thought they were going to be capable of in 2021. I saw some people, I think my man Ryan Leaf, I think he had him going 12-0. I mean, I think, and he's not the only one now. I saw a lot of people, a lot of national analysts having A&M going 12-0 and making a run at the national title and all this job. And I just never was on that bandwagon. You know, I think when you're replacing 4 offensive linemen and a quarterback in this division of the SEC, I think it is a tall task to go 12-0. I think it's a tall task to go 10-2, to be completely honest with you, even though their schedule is fairly simple, relatively speaking. And I think that thought, which you and I both had, I think preseason, has proven to be true throughout the season. They played pretty decent on defense the first game, really good this last week against Colorado. And what's happened? Their offense has sputtered. Their athletic quarterback that likes to run around off schedule, guess what? Injuries have. There's a lot of risk outside that pocket in the SEC and the SEC West, partner. And so he goes down with an injury. Now, I'll say this, though, Max. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm here in Houston. I've talked to a lot of people about Zach Calzada. I'm trying to say that fast 3 times. Zach Calzada.
I know, I got it wrong initially. So, yeah.
Well, I was gonna let that one ride. You're bigger than me, Chief. But look, I've talked to a lot of people that, you know, this competition was neck and neck now in Alabama at A&M. And one of the reasons they went with the young fella in Haynes King is that he was more athletic, and they were having to replace all those offensive linemen up front. Felt like he'd have to use his athletic ability to move around and extend plays and ultimately produce on offense. Well, this Zach Calzada kid's a little bit more of a pocket passer, so that protection may be a little bit of a problem. But when you talk about them being able to stretch the field and make certain throws on time, in rhythm, accurately, I think this Zach Calzada, based off of what the people that I've talked to that are really plugged in up there, this kid gives them more of an opportunity to rip it down the field and to have a little bit more prolific passing game from the pocket, if you will. So I don't think they're a national contender, to be honest with you, national championship contender. But hell, they may have, for right now, they may have gotten better with Haynes King going out and Zach Calzada coming in. So we'll see what they do. But to answer your question, I still don't believe they've done nothing in 2 weeks for me to believe that they're a national champion contender.
Yeah, no, I mean, it looked like one of those games where it was just ugly. I'm gonna be honest, it was ugly. I mean, Isaiah Spiller was the only bright spot, really. You know, when you look at it, and to have that game-winning touchdown to seal it, it was kind of just apropos. But I think you're right. I think when you look at the two, yes, there's a high ceiling for Haynes King, but there's a lot of unknown, right? It's foggy, right? It's like when you go to LA and you look up one morning, you're like, man, I thought the sun was supposed to be out. It says sunny and it's foggy. You don't know how high up that ceiling is for him, but you know he has a high ceiling. Calzada, a little bit of a lower ceiling, but there's dependability in that. You know what I'm saying? And you as a quarterback, you could appreciate that. You know, as a coordinator, as a quarterback coach, give me my knowns versus my unknowns, right? And let me make the best decision possible. Present me with the entire table. Can you just talk about just kind of, you know, as a quarterback in general, just when there's a competition like this and you're asked to step in? Because I think of the Felipe Franks, Kyle Trask, Kentucky game, right? 2 years ago. Yeah. And how that changes the mindset and what could possibly propel, you know, in your experience, you know, knowing that there's competitions every year and sometimes, you know, the backup is really the starter in waiting.
Yeah, look, I think the future's Haynes King. I really do, long term here. But when you when you look at the style of quarterback that Zach Calzada is, again, according to everybody, that I'm not going to base it off one Colorado game where the team was, I think it was 8 of 9 drives. They were 3 and out. Like, let's take that off the table. I mean, there's something about when you go into a football game knowing what you have, right? I've got a quarterback that we're going to have to win with from the pocket. All right, offensive line, I need you to hold your water, and the play caller, hey, I need you to be maybe a little bit more vanilla up front. Maybe we need some 7 and 8 man protections up front to make sure we can get the football out. And you lean on those offensive linemen, and you lean on that play caller a little bit heavily. And then in the game, you can stretch things out, but you lean on those guys instead of what I think A&M was doing before. Max was like, hey, we're gonna play this young athletic kid, and we're gonna hope his athletic ability bails us out when the offensive line can't protect or when the play call's not just right. And while I think that's popular in college football, hell, it's even popular in pro football right now. But for me, I never have liked that, man. Like, give me something to where, hey, if I dial up the right play and I get a hat on a hat up front with my big fellas, I got a quarterback that can hammer your ass. And so, I think it's a different philosophy going into this ball game for Jimbo Fisher, for the offensive line, and not for the quarterback to go, okay, go out there and be special with your feet and make me a bunch of athletic plays. You do what you do well, and we're going to try to shore things up around you. I like that plan more than I do leaning on a super athletic quarterback.